doing a portable console at all. I see them trying to do the most powerful console on the market that plays PC games.
Oh man, God, that'd be crazy and both exciting at the same time. Little Zump in chat says Google does own Throttle Games and Owl Alchemy Labs, though. It doesn't need to be portable. Android is already portable, so they do have game companies hired, so they could potentially have a library of games already set up, or potentially in the future. So again, wait and see.
Also, some points out that it's already portable. Like Android is portable, so they don't need to go portable. I just think they need to compete with the home console market and make a basically a PC for console players. That's what they need to do.
Gotcha.
That
Okay,
would make me buy their system.
gotcha. We'll wait and see. I'm very excited. The game industry has definitely making some huge changes. I'm so excited about right now. It's fun times right now. Fun times. All right, moving on to our next topic at hand. Speaking of consoles, this was brought to me like I want to say Thursday, Friday. My brother he told me about this information in the morning. And I had to look it up, but GamesRadar.com reported. This is written by Austin Wood. And this is also a rumor. But Microsoft will announce 2 new Xboxes at this year's E3. According to a new report from French tech site Jukes Video, Microsoft is planning to announce 2 new Xbox consoles at E3 2019, one or both of which may be connected to next-gen Xbox Project Scarlet family of hardware. The consoles in question are reportedly codenamed Xbox Lockhart and Xbox Anaconda, names we've heard before. Lockhart is to be a weaker and cheaper console with no disk drive, while Anaconda would be positioned as a more powerful premium system. We know for a fact that Microsoft is working on multiple new consoles, but all this remains unconfirmed. In November 2018, Turret reported that Microsoft is preparing a diskless Xbox One for 2019. The system will reportedly go for around $200, which would put Xbox Lockhart in the same vein as the Xbox 360 Arcade, that is cheaper but more limited alternative to mainline consoles. This also fits with the rumored specs in the June X Videos report. Meanwhile, in December 2018, Windows Central reported Xbox Anaconda is, in fact, a newer version of the Xbox One X. To put it simply, it is said to be Xbox One XS, a revised, slimmed-down version of the X. Lord knows what they call it at this point. The Xbox family is more complicated than the freaking Lannisters. Windows Central.
Yeah, no kidding. No fucking.
Windows Central report also mentioned that the addition of SSD storage intend to cut down on loading times, and again, that this fits with the specs of the Jinx video, which says both systems will be boost NVMe SSDs. Basically, just means faster hard drives. So Microsoft. So with this rumor, with this also being brought up recently, I'm not surprised because like we've heard Phil Spencer talk about the streaming future and like but what is the future for Xbox for Microsoft when it comes to what is like new consoles or how that is usually looked at, but now it's being changed in the future. This fits with that.
I sincerely hope that, like, in all likelihood, Anthony, it's probably going to be a diskless Xbox One S and a diskless Xbox One X. That way you have the range of like 200, 250, and then 300 up to 350 up to 500. How much is the Xbox?
Right now, the Xbox, which one?
Because I don't think you can get an original Xbox. So I was trying to think of like the range and how that would work, but
Right.
I just think they're trying to make more options for people who on how they want to play their games.
It reminds me, in the article, it points out, it reminds me a lot of how, remember the Xbox 360 and how that launched? You had the main core, but you also had like an arcade version of it where it had like a memory card with it. So like you would still be able to play games to a certain point, but like it's very limited in terms of like what you had. And eventually you had to get a hard drive to upgrade to that point. So it reminds me in that vein, and Microsoft, I feel Phil Spencer and the Microsoft crew out there, I feel are not inclined to make entirely like sequel console to Xbox One. I feel like they want to keep to what it is now, Xbox One, Xbox One X, and just iterate on the same console. Kind of how that conversation was a while ago, where there was like he wanted to have kind of like a cell phone type of model of what a console would be. So I think Microsoft is going to stay in this lane in regards to that, and this is just another addition of, hey, you can now play various games with an internet connection without a disc, because at this point majority of games now are all digital for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think if it's discless, I don't think it's going to be a new Xbox. I don't think it's going to be the fourth generation of Xbox, because that like they aren't going to pull like the original Xbox One release, where it was like it's internet only and you can only have one copy of the game. You can't share discs and all that kind of crap. They want to avoid that like the fucking plague. So if they're doing discless consoles, they either need to do release it and be like, here's the new Xbox 2, for what I don't know to call it. Xbox 5. Fucking I don't care. I guess technically it'd be Xbox 4, but
yeah.
But they released the brand spanking new console, new everything. The 720.
Yeah.
The Xbox 1080 snowboarding. But sorry for Valera's being funny in the chat. He's being all comical. But yeah, I think if it is a brand new console, they're gonna have to do two versions of it. One is regular, one is discless.
Yep.
And the discless costs less because it costs money to get the disc reader in there and all that jazz. Or if they are discless, they're just going to be new versions of the Xbox One in some fashion or form. But yeah, I because they have to tread water very fucking carefully, because their public image isn't the best right now. It's getting way the fuck better. Like this last E3 skyrocketed them into a better vision.
I would argue that Microsoft is. I feel like they've kind of erased what was bad about Microsoft back then, and they are very fondly looked upon now.
I would argue that if it weren't for the fact that there's still people who refuse to get an Xbox because of that one E3. Because of the original launch of the Xbox One. There's still people that follow that, say, Xbox, this. I'm just like, that's not the way that it is anymore. It hasn't been for a long time.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
like, there's still people that follow that. So that's why I say that thing.
Right. Okay. But I think that we have to. Here's the thing I'm kind of curious about. Like, what's the price for these consoles going to be? But like, at some point, I kind of wonder if Microsoft is going to, and I said that I think that they're staying in a lane with this idea of having multiple consoles. I kind of wonder in terms of like the other thing that also was mentioned in the news is with this Xbox Game Pass and having the potential there to be, because you heard about how it potentially could be on the Nintendo Switch with the app, and the talks about that. Like the thing about that.
Yeah.
The thing I'm curious is like, I wonder realistically.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't put in consideration at all? I don't know why none of us fucking thought of this. Nintendo doesn't do conferences at E3. They have a Direct, correct?
Yes.
What if the Xbox Direct is Nintendo and Xbox coming out and saying, we have a console that's everything together?
Oh shit.
Like,
no, wait.
What if? Just what if it's a combined Nintendo Xbox console?
That that would almost be the one console future. That would be almost. That would be damn close. Holy shit.
We've talked about the potential of that happening and how we're inching closer and closer to that.
Yeah.
And we see all this stuff with Xbox and the Switch and whatnot. What if that's it? What if they're coming out with a console that's Xbox and Nintendo together?
That would just be mind-blowing. That would just send huge waves in the game industry and could potentially change the entire game industry as it is. It would be insane. But you know what? That's not too far fetched. Nintendo and Microsoft have been buddy buddy recently. They've been
It's a
helping each
lot
other
more.
out.
It's a lot more realistic than some of the other shit we've said tonight. So
Yeah. So I I do wonder if it's going to come down to the suits, man. It's going to come down to these Microsoft and Nintendo higher ups. Are they willing to put their egos aside to work with one another to even potentially have a console that they can put both their games on?
Sorry, I'm laughing at Valerian's fucking. He made a joke. He says, "But what if Nintendo? What would Nintendo and Microsoft's boy toy Sega think?" And so he's like, "BRB, totally not looking for a personified Sega."
I'm pretty sure it's out there, Valer. You don't have to look that hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the internet. What do we? Yeah.
Yeah. It is a not too far fetched idea that may end up happening, but I don't think it will. But at the same time, if it does happen in some
It's
somehow,
wishful thinking on my part for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
it is very wishful thinking, but at the same time, it's not that far off from the current climate right now in the game industry.
It's more likely they're just coming out with more versions of the Xbox One X. Like that's probably what they're doing.
That's more than likely, yeah. It's just like more options for people to use, and again, the streaming future has been becoming more and more apparent with the talks of a lot of game developers and people of that ilk having a future where you can just stream your game to your console or PC, what have you.
And that actually, the streaming thing might be the thing keeping Nintendo and Microsoft apart too.
It's very true. It's very true. That could be
exciting
times.
A lot of possibilities we just threw out.
God, exciting times.
We threw every piece of shit we could at the fan, so the whole room was covered. So when it comes around to being correct, we're gonna be Nostradamus.
Clip this. Send this out to the internet so that when E3 happens, we can.
I'm just saying. I fucking called Tetris 99. I'm just saying I did. I called it.
For those who don't know, Greg did call that out before the direct did happen. So
literally, in the Half Empty Snake Discord, I made a joke saying because everyone was talking about what they wanted at the